Hey, what's going on everyone? Dagon30 here, and today I want to show you the differences between the 9950 X3D that comes stock with all of its settings in the BIOS. Run a cinebench benchmark on it and let you know the score and the temperatures that I've read. And then I'm going to apply my undervolt to it and see what the difference is and the performance is. Now, I'm not going to have you sit through 20 or 30 minutes of the processes here of getting those numbers. So I'm going to show you the settings before and after, and let's get that started. All right, so sorry about the shakiness. I'm filming from my phone here because I don't have a second PC with a video capture card yet. So as you see here, I go to advanced CPU settings. Everything's set to auto. This way it comes. And then the only thing I have is I have Expo activated. And then I have my little minor memory tunings in there. So everything is standard and stock from this point forward. And let me go ahead and run cinebench and get this going. So save and exit. And go. All right, be right back, guys. All right, guys, we're catching the last seconds here of the first benchmark. And let's see what the number we got. That's the average temperature right there that I've been seeing the whole time, 75.4. And then we got 43,077. And that was it right there on the first one. So let me apply my undervolt and see what the next one is. Now, I did go through the other processes, and the average with the auto setting for overclocking was about 5.1 gigahertz when it was running heavy load. And I do think I run a little hotter with my overclock, or not overclock. Well, it technically is kind of an overclock, but we'll see. All right, now that I'm back in BIOS, I'm going to put my settings back to Precision Boost Overdrive right here. Okay, so I got PBO Limited motherboard, manual on the overdrive scaler for 10x. That is the max you can get. And then enabled positive 200 for the clock override. What that does is it allows, if the temperatures are low enough, it goes ahead and gives you that boost. That's kind of the overclocking feature for this. So that will be the reason why you get a little more heat than standard for that. And then I have my throttle limit set for 95. So if it hits 95 degrees while it's running something, it's gonna either cut off the voltage and shut it down, or just slow it down. All right, so I'm gonna go to Curve Optimizer. I have all my negative presets right here. I was running a bunch of HW info, and I was seeing what cores needed the extra undervolt and or back off on the undervolt, see if it needed more power. And then there's the curve shaper. So what I noticed on my curve shaper right here is I added a positive because what this did was I was a little on the unstable side for my undervolt. So I was crashing during big programs or big downloads, and I had to restart it and cut back and off. But I learned that with curve shaper, if you add a positive to the cores that kind of need it, this actually helps stabilize it, and what it does is it makes an offset of this. So you can keep the undervolt right here, but if you add a little bit of positivity right here, that will actually help stabilize and get things running more smoothly. Now this does add a little extra heat, but like I said, we're kind of overclocking at the same time as undervolting, so we're gonna find out the results after that. So let me save and exit, and then I'll get back with y'all and run the cinebench thing and let you know the results from that. All right, now we're the last few seconds of the second cinebench run with my undervolt slash overclock in effect. And on average, I saw about 79.8. So the purpose of my overclock and my undervolt at the same time was to keep it below 80 but get the extra boost in performance. And some people don't mind doing the extra heat and tolerating, but I like to keep my $700 CPU as cool as possible while running efficiently and without burning out. So looks like I got 43,681. And when I checked the gigahertz on the speed, I consistently ran 5.5 to 5.65. These chips were designed to be overclocked right around 5.7 to, and some people can get 5.89 out of it if they really attempt that overclock. But yeah, I'm not going to stretch it that much. I'm happy with this one. And the average temp was about 79, as you saw. It did consistently stay right around 77 for the most part when I was looking at it over the 10-minute time period. Now, I am going to do one more cinebench run, but this time I'm going to turn off all overclocks. It's not going to be auto. It's not going to have my overclock. And we're going to see what it runs purely stock without without any overclocking or auto settings. So let's get to that one. All right, guys. Now we're hitting the last of the seconds here. As you see, it was sitting at 74.4. That's about what it has been, that and about 75 degrees. This is with no undervolt, no overclocking or anything, and it's running score at 43,036. So 43,036 for multi-core. Now, I saw on average it ran at a speed of about 4.5 gigahertz to 4.8 gigahertz. So that's stock with no overvolt or underclock or anything, or underclock, undervolting. So that's it, guys. So that's a little bit of a guide to show you what, if you prefer to go whichever route you want with your CPU. This is the same thing that can work for any of the AMD CPUs that have the X3D chip or even just a regular X version. There you have it, guys. That's the results from the 3 cinebench runs when you had it set for the auto overclocking and undervolting, and the settings that I put in for my undervolt slash overclock, and then just stock settings with nothing turned on and just disabled. So in your opinion, what do you think is the best route to go? I know for a fact that if you do it on the auto side, they always try to play on the side of caution the way they programmed it. So they're not going to really do any true blue big overclock on that. So the best thing for you to do is just to do it yourself. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later, guys.